Hi, I wanted to make this video to review a lot of what happened today in terms of my trades, general thoughts, emotions, all of it. It's the sort of thing where you can make these mistakes, have these issues, and journal them, grow from them, and compound in a way that you may feel like you've grown. But I don't know, I feel like a lot of these old habits, they die very hard, especially with me. And I have a hard time getting rid of them, and an even harder time building the good ones. Look, it's not to say that I'm, just a complete degenerate doing these like terrible things in my trading, but it does feel like a step back, especially when I look at my first trade. Something where I'm almost like self-sabotaging. Just taking a trade that I know I don't like. I know I wouldn't be proud of even if it won on purpose for no particular reason. And it makes me think like, yeah, why am I doing this? Um, I know a part of it is just impatience, but in real life, I'm a patient person. I have no problem waiting for things. Uh, and I've dealt with some people who have forced me to be very patient, and I've had no problem with that. So it's like, why can't I do that in the market, in my trading? Um, and I think it has to do a lot with the expectations I put on myself, that I put on the market. If I'm in front of the market, I'm owed for my time, sort of thing. Where it's to the point that if I'm sitting there and I'm not taking a trade, it does feel inefficient, ineffective. And I like being effective. I like working. And I think that's not the best thing. That's not the best quality to have sometimes as a trader. So you have to learn to just sit on your hands, right? Like that Bill Lipschitz quote or whatever. If most traders were learn to sit on their hands 50% more, they'd make a lot more money or something. And I I'm I'm at a loss here because how do I how do I get rid of those kinds of mistakes? And I think the answer is not necessarily getting rid of them, but being in a mindset and an approach and a framework in trading and about trading that lends itself to just being at peace, to trusting what I know to be the best, and not having that sort of healing from any sort of self-sabotage or feelings that I don't deserve this or I have to do this to prove such and such. And I think that's the biggest next step to take in my trading. I don't feel like I need to be too much more caught up on technicals and things like that. I think I just need to trust myself more, find a bit more peace with um, the way I think about the market. I do love trading, and for me, it's like kind of my way out, an escape from whatever, from life and the rat race, right, or the 9 to 5 and all these things. And I think that's really just the worst approach you can have, because it puts so much pressure on trading and it makes trading like this special sacred thing. And really, it's not. You're clicking buttons on a screen, and you're purporting into work. I think the best. I mean, of course, yes, trading is very special. I love trading; it's very beautiful. But in a sense, it's one of the most mundane things you can do. And so many great traders will tell you, like, trading is just like good trading is just boring. Profitable trading should be boring. You're just reporting into work, literally clocking into your job when you enter the market. That's it. And that's the best way to think about these things. From what I understand, from what I've seen, a lot of profitable traders tell me. is like, yeah, man, it's just another day at the office, you know? So I need to detach myself a bit. I need to find a bit more peace with approaching trading with all of this other expectations and the sort of front that it's something that it's really not. I feel like that's going to help me be a bit more at peace, because in my day-to-day life, like I don't do these things. I don't self-sabotage, or I feel like I'm a pretty disciplined person. And look, it is to say, like, I used to be a lot worse. Like, you know, looking at my trades just from 6 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, like, I am a different trader. Absolutely. I've improved a lot, but I know these sorts of mistakes, I know I should be past them. I should be better than that. And look, I know I will be, but it's enough talk. It's time to do, you know? Anyways. I had charted this red channel, pivot here. I was kind of like hesitant to take a short, because I was like, oh, you know, I have to go take a long because of this move here. But I do know that the opening move, no matter how strong, can reverse 50% of the time. I should have been more mindful of just the context from the past few days. You know, there's a massive amount of selling, and knowing that this is not that significant. Also, you know, easy way up, easy way down. This is just like zero structure bull rally for how long is this? A pretty significant 185 points for just straight up 30 minutes with no structure being built. Then we just get this chop, also structureless. So it's like a short with sort of like zone of mutual interest trade wouldn't have been a bad idea. But I don't know, I was like just too biased to the long side. It just felt too easy to me. And because of that, I forced a trade that's also thinking that this is too easy. And I don't have to follow my system, and I don't have to wait for structure, and I don't have to wait for my edge. And that's an entry long right here, right on the touch of this bottom red, where there's absolutely zero retracement coming down, where, you know, we're not like building and then we have a retracement. We're just kind of like touching it here and then flying up. Now there's just nothing of value there. And to make it, you know, so this was already not a quality entry. This was a stubborn entry. This was an impatient entry. And it's not about, ultimately, look, it's not about patience. It's about identification of your edge. This is not my edge. And I think psychologically as well, going into the day, I saw this. I know these are my worst kinds of days. I know these are the days that I typically don't perform very well. And I just wanted to find something and take a gamble, take a bet, and then hopefully just call it, because I was already unhappy with how the day was trading. But look, I had the whole rest of the day to trade. And there were a variety, what is that, 3.5 hours? There were a variety of great opportunities after. So I took this, and at the very least, look, I'm protected by this red channel here. At least that's the thesis behind my trade. So the moment, let me move this out of the way. When we get to here, look, I should be already have adjusted my stop, or moving to break even. Because if we break down and we trade below the red algo, and we close below and we start moving down, this is a short setup, where we have the red channel, there's no structure, there's liquidity here, and I know that this could be a potential head, left shoulder, change the color, and right shoulder right here. But why was I unable to move my stop? And this is not an emotional, you know, move to break even, or emotional move to half R loss. This was me just being stubborn and thinking like, oh, it's whatever. You know, when structurally speaking, my trade needs to be maintained in this red algo here, and I just couldn't follow that. I don't know, like I just caught myself even moving it to here, right, rather than getting stopped all the way here. Why? I don't know, just stubbornness and pride and impatience, greed, all these things. But you hear all these buzzwords so often in trading. Greed, discipline, fear, I mean, they're principles. They're laws, they're rules of life. They're unavoidable. You will experience these emotions. But it's not a bad thing to feel emotions, right? And sometimes you can't avoid it, right? You get like messed up by a girl or something, you're like, "Oh yeah, whatever." No, like you're going to be I mean, naturally speaking, you're going to be upset. You're going to have problems. But it's the way we react to those emotions that matter. That's the most important thing. And it's this level of self-awareness where you think, "Oh, I'm not in a place to be dealing with this right now. Like I need to take a breather. I need to step away from the charts. I need to hit the gym. I need to I need to get a drink of water, just to relax a bit." And I wish I could have assessed myself a little better before this trade and before this stop out. So look, the best we can do is learn from it and move on. So, anyways, trade 2. I take these bottom pivots here, place it at the top. See how we hold support right here? Touch, touch, touch. Then we break down, and then it becomes resistance. Short. Very simple. 1.5R. Hitting exact beautiful support at the top of this channel. See how it holds these three? I place the exact same pivot here. We had broken here, and I know that actually, real quick, then we taper, right? So then this, it's not by much, but it does make a difference. The teal, which is taken from this pivot and this pivot, versus the yellow, which is taken from this pivot and this. Place it to the top, coming through, and we anti-algo, which I've already explained many times. Failed breakout of the channel, and we close back in. You can short here, stop there, no problem. Great trade. So we did break this algo, come down, break it again, close below, second break. I know this to be a quality setup. I wasn't too upset about this trade. I think maybe what I could have done was this was just like a V reversal, I could have maybe waited for a little bit of a better structure, like we trade back in, like we do here, and then this would have been a short, and it would have been kind of janky. Probably wouldn't have taken it, but it would have allowed me to avoid this. But I don't think this was a terrible trade by any means. Definitely a lot better than trade 1. So yeah, I would have managed this again in some way. But got stopped out, and then I do have this middle band of the yellow, which I know to be a good algo, a good approach, because come down, fail, second break fails, come back up, and we have this very nice head and shoulder structure right here. Close above the algo yellow band, and we can long right here. And I know also it's a little bit of confluence given that we are coming into this white, and I know that this white could very well trade back into the white, giving me a nice long opportunity. On here, we finally close below, and you can short there. The large intraday white algo. So yeah, look, I feel like I'm improving. I'm making changes, but it's gradual, and I don't like making the same mistakes. I know I'll get there, but there's still so much that I feel like I have to work on. So anyways, thank you.